Just about ready. And away they go. And Uae Homer out of stallgate number 1 blew the start, gave away a couple of lengths. Pinehurst ridden early to get up handy. Summers Tomorrow has natural gate speed and is right there. Combustion, the blue colours, is third. Now fourth is Sakifu, commits to a prominent place. Crown Pride, Get Back Goldie, Irwin's very deep. Ben Dukes against the inside rail and only racing about 4 to 5 lengths off the leader. They're going a good pace. Island Falcon, the all blue colours, hugs the rail a couple of lengths away to Arabian Gazelles. Azure Coast is not in a hopeless position at the moment. One off the rail, the white cap at the outside of Quality Boon. Withering it there outside, Uae Homer. They followed by Gilded Age in the orange colours towards the end of the field, and Kiefer from a bad draw took his medicine, races at the end of the field, and there's got to be about 14 lengths in it, and they're going a cracking pace. Summer is Tomorrow, 1 length in front. It'll be Headlands if he can sustain this. Pinehurst though on his back is second. Then comes Sakifu, races in third, the white sleeves and the white cap. Then comes Combustion, who just tracks the leaders. Ben Doog against the inside. Combustion being nursed back onto the bit. Crown Pride is in the red sleeves and the red cap. Island Falcon comes down the side of the course, racing about 6 lengths off the leader. Then 2 back to Irwin. Withering, Uae Homer's next best. Then comes Quality Boon, the orange and blue colours. Azure Coast is in a real spot of bother. Then comes Kiefer, tries to gain some ground. Get Back Goldie and Gilded Age look out of it, and they're about to straighten for home. 500 metres left to run. Summer is Tomorrow has led the whole way with Crown Pride right there. Ben Dukes towards the inside. Island Falcon races away in fourth. Sakifu and Combustion, but Summer is Tomorrow is still the leader into the final 250. Summer is Tomorrow by 2. Crown Pride is all out in second. Ben Doog is third. Then comes Island Falcon. Here's Crown Pride getting to grips, getting the better of Summer is Tomorrow, who's run his race. It's Japan again. It's Crown Pride in the UAE Derby. The land of the rising sun is having a night to remember. Crown Pride beats Summer is Tomorrow. Island Falcon third, Ben Doog, Quality Boon. Uae Homer was next. Then came towards the inside Sakifu. Kiefer was next to finish as Azure Coast didn't turn it on. Then came Withering, Combustion, Irwin, Arabian Gazelles. They were ahead of Get Back Goldie, Gilded Age and Pinehurst.
Japan, they are flying. They're winning with horses that have no right to win. First ever runner here for Kuchi Shintana, the trainer. First ever ride here for Australian jockey Damian Lane. Wow.
It's just, this track is certainly playing more forward. You have to be early on. You got to be up close to the pace. The race was really interesting because Pinehurst stayed with the pony and then was fine with not going to the lead early and ends up running last.
Who'd have thought that, hey? And this Crown Pride, I mean, we said before, his first 2 starts, he run really, really easily, then came up against Combustion in a listed race, was beaten 3 lengths. I thought he would like the step up in trip. He's out of a mare who's a fair bit of stamina on her pedigree. She was a sister to a mare a horse who'd won over 1 mile and won. But I didn't really think he was going to be capable of winning it. What a night for them, though. Damian Lane, 2 rides on tonight's card. Uae later on would not be without a chance either, Japanese Oaks winner. But it was a bit of a slow motion final furlong, wasn't it? And having said categorically Summer is Tomorrow cannot win, I was starting to sweat.
I think, look, first of all, so happy for Mr. Yoshida. Tsuruyo Yoshida has been a part of this game for a long time. His brother at Northern Farm normally gets all the accolades, but he's been a part of this for a long time. Their father kind of launched Japanese racing, and Shadai is obviously very close to me, having Mind Your Biscuit stand over there and having spent time over there. And, you know, this is proper racehorse time. They went 159.3 for the final time, and I guess it's off to Kentucky now for Crown Pride. The Japanese have said if they won, they were going to go. They thought it might have been a few other horses, but might we see Crown Pride just stamp himself a contender in the Kentucky Derby?
No. That's such a better race than this was, surely. Well, we'll know a bit more, won't we? Because we've got Triple Crown preps all the time right now in the States, including this evening.
No, and look, Summer is Tomorrow with this American pedigree being by Summer Front out of a badge of silver mare. He gets 50 points. Bhupat Seymour spent time in California before. Who knows? Maybe we'll see Bhupat Seymour take on the rest of them in the world. I
doubt he's been nominated for the Triple Crown, first of all, and I'd be surprised. But you never know. They've got very enterprising owners. Summer is Tomorrow, the Burke family, who've had a really good season actually with the likes of their curling mare Lady Snaz winning a couple for them as well. But This is a real improvement from this horse. He did have an excuse when he was beaten in that listed race over at Tokyo last time. He was squeezed up at the start, finished really well. I guess maybe he's just one who's a shade unlucky not to be unbeaten.
Well, and I think he comes in fresh. He hasn't run since February. He skipped that trip to Saudi, came right from Japan, and I think he's a horse with a promising future at a distance of ground, and we can see him on the turf, we can see him on the dirt. It was just a good effort, and it looked like you said, Summers tomorrow looked like he might have just been gone on as a winner, and Crown Pride did have to dig in deep to go on by him, and he did, and he went about his business. And you know what? Summers tomorrow held second over Island Falcon and Bendug as Saeed Bin Suroor continues to grind out checks here as we just wait for Real World later on the card.
Yeah, absolutely. So far, if I was the connections of Life is Good, seeing the way this dirt track has played, I'll be pretty happy, but he has to hit the start.
No,
which
but
there's no reason why he won't.
You've seen favorites getting beat all day long, and when you're a favorite, you feel like you have a target on your back. You want other favorites to be winning. It's just one of those days. It feels like it's a good day if you're a favorite. When favorites get beat all around the board, all of a sudden you start saying to yourself, is today the day that I get beat too?
Well, I told my husband a while back, no more investments for me. I said it's going to be a weird day. So that was me. Was Mind Your Biscuits ever favourite for the two Shaheens?
No.
No, I didn't think he was, no.
He was for the first one until he drew post 14, and then it was no longer anybody's fancy.
Damien Lane, 28 years old, hails from Western Australia. He's actually got quite the association with the Japanese. He had a spell over there in April 2019. And he memorably teamed up with that extremely good Japanese horse, Liz Gracheur, who won the Cox Plate. So he goes back a long way with the Japanese, and they've obviously decided why not sign him up for these couple of rides this evening.
No, and it's good to see that there's so many different Japanese jockeys. In Saudi, it was a Japanese-dominated day, but it was the Christophe Lemire day, right? He won all 4 races for the Japanese. Now we've had 3 Japanese winners and 3 Japanese jockeys.
Well, 1 Japanese jockey and 1 Frenchman and 1 Australian. Yeah, 3 different jockeys. Yeah, absolutely. It's a great, thing to get if you can get a contract to ride in Japan, but kind of everybody wants one. They're also quite strict on the rules over there, aren't they? The jockeys kind of have to be not in isolation as such, but I think they go into sort of a jockey's hostel and the phones are taken off them, and they're very, very strict on obviously governing gambling over there, which is such a huge source of revenue.
The day before, jockeys have to leave their families and leave their phones at the door and just spend the day with each other, and no technology allowed, and they're very old school idea, but it works for them, and obviously we're seeing it in the results.
Yeah, it means they nothing else to do really than concentrate on their races. It means they can't be, affected by people trying to influence the results of races, should we say? So, it's, did you go racing when you went over to Japan?
No, I was up at Shadai Station with Mr. Yoshida, and I watched the pre-training. In the farms over there, they have more than 300 horses training at one time as they're being broke and getting ready to go down to the lower part of Japan, because the farms are very much up high in the northern part of Japan. And at the training center, they have a poly track, they have a wood chip track, they have an uphill track, they have a regular track, they have a treadmill, they have everything is clocked and charted, and it looked like something out of the movie Rocky 3, where you're sitting there and just kind of see everything. They want to know how their horses are doing at all times, and everything is charted from the time they're born to the time they run tonight.
Well, this is a fantastic result for all connected with Crown Pride, a son of Reach the Crown. He's actually the first winner here in the UAE for Teruya Yoshida in these famous silks. He's got many different ownership, as we said, ownership divisions. But it really is a brilliant result for them, and they possibly would have been a bit disappointed with that reverse last time, and this is obviously a very, very talented colt. Drawn in 10 as well, so it's not as if he had the golden highway all the way around. It wasn't easy for him, and he's just clearly got so much ability.
And he was given a really, really strong warm-up while some of the other ones were not, and I think that really paid off here. You want to be close. As some of these other races go on, especially the next one in the Golden Shaheen and then the World Cup, it looks like you do want to be at least in the first third of the pack, if not in front. So I would look for some of these horses, especially in the next race now, to get a really, really stiff warm-up early on.
Let's hear from our winning jockey, Damien Lane.
Okay. We got Damien Lane here. He's going to weigh out in just a moment. He definitely had to work for that Crown Pride. Wins. So, Damien Lane. Was it okay? Is it okay? Okay. Damien, just take us through it. It looks like he definitely made you work for it throughout. We can walk.
Yeah, he stepped okay, but then travelled well thereafter. Being a green horse, he wanted to run off on the bottom corner a little bit. Just took a little bit to get him in a rhythm and get him going well, and I was confident a long way out. And like you said, he did make hard work of it in the straight, but he was ultimately the toughest out there.
And the Japanese giving you a lot of confidence, putting you on some top mounts here.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever you jump aboard, you can be confident they're going to be strong, they're going to run well, and just a privilege to be a part of it all.
Take us back to the start. Was there any issues as far as traffic and getting him into a proper spot?
Not really. I got crowded a touch early, but he was able to just stride through and take up a position, and from there it was smooth sailing.
Well, best of luck, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Get you a quick signature real fast.
Marcus Hurst looks very disappointed, sir.
Well, he's managed to win a big Group 2 race, $1 million race on his first ever ride in Dubai, Damien Lane. What a superb achievement by him. Summer's Tomorrow really did run his heart out. Ben Doog's run great as well, but just coming into the final furlong, it was inevitable, wasn't it? Crown Pride was coming, he was going to get there.
I mean, he just kept finding more and finding more, but I mean, all the credit really does go to Mikel Barcelona, because he just kept trying on Summer's Tomorrow. He kept digging in, but it was just the Crown Pride had a little bit more stamina to him, going out the grounded distance. Summer's Tomorrow was coming out of a proper 1,400-meter race. This was really a big ass to go 1,900 meters.
It really was. Let's take a view on the left. Not today for him. Island Falcon has bounced out of his Saudi race very well. Hasn't he finished third? Again, these Sabins raw horses are outperforming.
They continue to show up, and we have 12 million reasons to think that maybe Real World again later too.
It's a gorgeous colt, isn't he? Very good looking. As I mentioned, son of Reach the Crown, out of a mare called Emmy's Pride, which is obviously how they got the name.